Hey there, JJ here. This is a combination of all of the cool fights that I liked, from the first, I think 6 wars of the season, something like that. Um, yeah, so this was back when Faye was still pushing, and over here we have Kushala, rank 3 versus Thanos on a Node 41, which is Scared Stiff, Power Shield, and not Power Shield, Power Focus, and Bubble Shield. Kushala counters the node perfectly because you can block unblockable and you regen block damage. So at this point, it's more of a just go to SB1, then go to SB2, and then nuke. I'm just playing it safe, baiting out special ones. With the Power Focus, he's getting a lot of them. And then after my SB2, no need to go for the extra Intercept. I already have max blessings. It's obviously a passive, ticking for 7k. And I go for a light intercept. Oh no. Yeah, so I should have gone for an intercept because I lost the hit combo for a Scared Step. So I got rooted, but I just parried, and yeah, I played correctly. Then I throw my SB1 off with only 2 blessings, but I got lucky and nullified everything except the Energize, which is slightly frustrating, but doesn't really matter. Over there, I see that there were only 6 charges left on the counterpunch, so I was not able to activate my SP1 because he would have gone unstoppable. And over here, about a minute into the fight, I know that those 17 incinerates are going to tick him down. So yeah, that's the first fight. Kushala doing Deathless Thanos very well. So yeah, clean, good fight. Some of these fights are going to be with a rank 3 Kushala, some are going to be with a rank 4. I took her to rank 4 in the middle of the season because I was using her a lot, and she's been one of my favorites recently. Next up, we have a fight that I've taken multiple times, and I think I've only put it once in this video. This is Node 45 Red Skull. This is Hazard Chip Bleed and Cold Snap. Kushala is immune to bleed and has high energy resistance for the Cold Snap. Yeah, so you don't counter the tactic, but if you have a really high stick Kushala, the chance for passives is very high. So Light Whiff, Heavy to Punish, Wall, and Cold Snap, and then if you get the parry, all good. I throw my SB2 there, even at the Cold Snap. Then I bait this. Then I know that I can probably parry and then do a simple light attack. Well, that one didn't connect because I didn't have enough blessings to gain increased ability accuracy. But it's alright, I can just wait it out. Now I do a light attack and a heavy, and one special 2 into the fight, and he is already melted around 30% of his health. So this fight, if you play correctly, is very hard to mess up. Just play it safe. Over here I have 3 blessings, so I get higher chance for ignition, and then I get off another SP2. And then over here I get a heavy to punish the special, to pause my blessings. Then I wait for the auto block to time out before I go in for another hit. I go for another heavy. Then I think I probably should have gone for the SP2 there to make my soul barb longer, but it doesn't really matter. I parry to get rid of the chance for the conflictor. So far I've gone all passives, but unless fighting a Cosmic Champion, the chance to get a passive is halved. So, yeah. And then, once again, I get another passive. It's doing about 6k per tick, and it's going to tick him out. So that fight can definitely go faster, but I think I was just playing slow and safe. I wasn't trying to do anything crazy, and it worked out for a solo with a lot of health remaining. So yeah, it's a very safe fight. Next up, I think we have an Onslaught on Buffet, and we're going to be taking it with Count Nefaria. Count Nefaria does not counter Buffet, like the nullify part in any way, but he counters the regen. I think it's Buffet over time. I'm not sure. Or is it Arc Overload? I don't know. There's a lot of regen, and Count Nefaria does very well there. And due to his high energy resistance, you can basically have a ton of neuroshocks on you and you wouldn't notice it. You could even eat an SB2, and because of your degen resistance, it would not hurt as much as it normally would. So this fight in the beginning, it looks like we're not going to do much progress because of the abundance of regen that he's going to have. But once you see when we get into Ionic Overdrive, we are going to siphon a good amount. The combat regen was definitely unnecessary. There I stop at 9 so I can bait a heavy before the crush. Useful trick against Onslaught. If you want to push him to an SP2, you should do 4 combo, 5 combo, bait a heavy, and then therefore he won't get the crush and use his SP1. But there I blocked the first hit because I saw a lot of neuro, so you can gain some regen. It can reduce your ability accuracy, but it's only by 2%, so most of the time it's a risk worth taking. Yeah, so even if this guy did have Unfazed unlocked, it wouldn't have mattered because I'm running the Iron Man synergy, which reduces the ability accuracy of unstoppable effects by 17% per decelerate, which you get by applying your ionic charges. And so he somehow applied one there, even though I had a bunch of decelerates, but normally that won't happen. And yeah, so I'm reducing the regen, and I get off an SB2 with charges, and there I get a full dex of the SB2, and I'm still not taking that many neuro ticks because of the amount of charges that I have, and once I siphon some health from the SB1, I'm going to be back in shape. So I bait an SB1, and then I block the first hit, and then dex out the rest to get some willpower healing going. Then I know that I have a free evade into a 5-hit combo into an SB2 for a lot of damage. And I don't remember if it kills. I think I have to dex one more SB2. Yeah. It's not that difficult, though. He has an Incinerate on him, which is giving me a ton of neuros, but once again, so over here is unblockable, so I really have to dex it, and yeah, I get the full dex. It's not too difficult once you practice it, and I'm hitting pretty hard, 26k, 6 medium attacks, 16k light attacks. Yeah, Nefaria is a very good champion, especially for war, and you're about to see that with the next fight. So this is Node 9 Dark Pheonix with 50% power efficiency, as well as Hazard Shift, Bleed, and Rupture. And one of the most underrated and scary nodes is Blood in the Water. They gain a massive fury whenever you have a debuff. So Count Nefaria is immune to bleed, but he loses charges whenever that bleed immunity triggers. So, and for the ruptures, they're still going to do a decent amount of damage despite all of his physical resistance because of the Blood in the Water node. So the plan here is to use the Iron Man synergy to bait Dark Pheonix's SB1s, because when you bait her SB1, she will trigger an Unstoppable and a Power Gain, which is normally bad. I mean, the Unstoppable is bad, but the Power Gain is good because it gives you charges. But even though her Unstoppable buff, if failed by ability accuracy, is replaced by passive, you can fail the passive too with the decelerates. So what we're going to do is the first few SB1s I won't be able to punish because of my not having enough decelerates, but after I'm going to be able to punish it even failing the passive unstoppable. So there it's passive. And as you can see, I'm only doing heavy attacks and I have the Nova on me and it's not looking great. She triggers unfazed, or maybe I evaded into the unstoppable. But right now she has 10. So yeah, so now I can go for the full Violet combo, and then I throw my SB1 into block so I don't lose any charges, which in hindsight was not very smart because I was at 0 charges, but that's what I told myself I was going to be doing going into the fight, so I guess I was trying to get into the habit of that early, and I didn't realize. So there I get the energy vulnerability, which is going to skyrocket my damage. The 50% power efficiency on this node definitely makes it a lot more difficult to be able to do an SB1, SB2, because even though you're consuming your charges, you're still not going to be able to get enough. And there I throw another one into block. I get the charges, but I don't remove the Nova, but I'm resisting it by a good amount. Right now it's only ticking for 247 per tick. There I miss a few of the evades for the energy vulnerability, but it's all fine in the end because it's all about just playing it safe. And then Nefaria's regen gets much stronger the lower health he goes, so you spend this fight mostly around like the 30 to 70% threshold if played correctly, because you're obviously going to take some chip damage from the Nova Flame and then from the ruptures, from the Blood in the Water, hurting through your block. Like it's a rough fight. I've seen a lot of good players die, but if you approach and come in with the right strategy, it's not that bad. Just watch out for the bleed. Don't let your Ionic Overdrive tick under. So see, right now it's about to end, so I'm going to throw another SB1. This time it's going to be into block because of the bleed phase. So yeah, it's a long fight too because of the safeguard, and there I wasn't watching the thing, so he triggers the unstoppable, and then that's a lot of Novas on me, and I'm starting to melt very quickly. But I heal up, and I get a few ruptures on me, and I'm just hitting him. Throw another special into block because of bleed, and now I'm going to try to bait this special too, and then do a full 5-hit combo into a Relic into an SB2, which should push her to the immortality. At least that's the plan. Well, no, I'm going to bait another SB2, and then since the SB2 of mine has a bunch of hits, it'll lower the Nova duration. So yeah, now she's at 4%, and she throws another special. Because of all the decelerates, we fail the Unstoppable. And I'm not sure why I didn't hit her there, but now I trigger the Immortality, so now I'm just going to be baiting specials, basically. When I notice that I have a lot of Novas on me, it's getting slightly dangerous, I throw a few SB1s, but it's really no big deal. I just throw Evade into a heavy, and I end the fight at 40%. It's a very long fight, around 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but if played correctly, it really is not a problem. Next up, I have Dust versus Mantis on node number, should be 18. Yeah, so it's... Oh, I don't show that fight. Never mind, sorry. I guess it was really laggy? Yeah, servers have been acting up, I'm sure you know. That's why the season was canceled. Anyways, next up we have Thorn Serpent, which is a very cool fight. I've definitely become a lot more accustomed to it. The best way to do it, as I've heard recently, is to use the Nullify and the SP1 first to get rid of the Fury, because the Fury enhances the potency of the Thorns. So normally with Kushala you want to go with SP2 into SP1, but it's better over here to go with an SP1 first to remove the Fury. And I don't know if I do that in this fight, because I learned that tip recently. But anyways, with this fight, you have... Oh, no, so I do it in this fight. All right, cool. But in this fight, you have Thorn. So whenever you hit them, you take a bunch of damage. But Kushala is able to kill Serpent fast enough that shouldn't matter. And there's also an unblockable node whenever you inflict a non-damaging debuff. And Kushala is able to block unblockables whenever she has her blue spell up, which is very easy to keep up. Just make sure that you parry every once in a while, which you want to do. It's part of Kushala's playstyle. You also want to parry against Serpent in general, because you don't want to dash back during a special. So yeah, after that SP1, I get off an SP2 into another SP1, and these Incinerates and Soul Barbs should take him out. There I get caught on a combo, and that is why we run an invuln, and I'm getting back into the corner, and I just parry the SP2. He's already at his death immunity, and I know that I'm safe if I just dex into a Relic or an SP1, doesn't matter. And then I was spamming Relic, but it didn't matter because he was dead after that anyway. So it was pretty clean. I did get hit in the middle, but, you know, that's what invuln boosts are for. Always be safe. Next up, we have this Wolf, which is basically a nodeless Wolf. It's a node for skill champs, but obviously Wolf has no purifying or anything. Basically, whenever you purify clans, you gain Energize, and if you get enough Energizes, you get Unblockable. But Wolf has none of that in his kit, and Nefaria is probably one of the best Wolf counters in the entire game. Not that you need a counter to fight Wolf, but he's extremely high physical resist, and his ability to punish the SP1 with an evade allows him to control it very well, and you also control the power gain. It's a very easy fight, so you see I got the evade off. Rupture's doing like no damage. I get an SP1 off. I'm at 90 of my charges. I'm almost at Ionic Overdrive. I'm going to think one more SP1, if he lets me. Yeah, Wolf is not a very hard defender, but Nefaria definitely makes short work of him, even if most champs can as well. So now I'm in my Ionic Overdrive. I think it's just race to my SP2, and then, yeah, he's playing passive there, but it shouldn't really matter. You get a nice little bit of hero reversing, which is a very underrated part of Nefaria's damage, that if the opponent is running willpower and you have a bunch of debuffs and your Overdrive up, you reverse. And as I was speaking, that SP2 absolutely shredded him. Big crit at the end. So, yeah, that was a very good and easy fight. Okay. Next up, I have, I think it's another node, 45 Red Skull. I don't remember. What am I doing? I think I cut to the next clip. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, the next two fights are another two Nefaria fights that I thought were pretty cool. So I'm obviously going to be boosting up. I don't think I do max boosts here. I don't remember. I think I do. Yeah, I put on 30%. Anyways, this is Never Back Down Count Nefaria, which is normally not great because, like, you know, it's hard to get openings with the auto block and all that, and then regen is rough. But the plan here is not to even damage him. I'm just going to reverse the regen. I'm going to get into my mode, and then I'm going to get a bunch of debuffs up. So the 95%, or I don't even know how much it is, but it's almost 100% reduction from the healing in addition to despair will allow me to just dash back twice and start taking him down. So as I mentioned, by the wolf fight, you're going to notice a lot of small numbers. So right now he's healing, so there's not much that we're doing, but I'm not in Ionic Overdrive yet, so you're going to see. So I'm not really caring about the strike counter at all. I'm just going for like heavies to knock him down, control the tempo of the fight, There's no point in trying to evade counter that. Another annoying part about this fight is the use it or lose it. And also you can't parry Iron Man's mediums. But there, see, I go for a double dash back so that you can see how he's just losing health. I go for a double dash back. He's just losing health. And yeah, that's basically the tempo of the fight. I go for a double dash back, and then he's losing health. And then I'm just going to reverse his regen until he dies. Very cool utility Nefaria has a heavy attack into midair, but it doesn't matter. And then I do another double dash back, and he's dead. So, yeah. There is no uptake. You don't need to upkeep any of the debuffs for that, which is really cool because whenever they try to regen, you gain energy buildups, and that will count for despair. And the regen itself is being reversed. So, yeah. You don't even need any... you don't even do anything, just be in your mode for the heal reverse to happen. Anyways, here we have a gentle on, I think it's EMP mod with stun immunity, and I wasn't really sure how this fight was going to go, and he gains a pursuit towards the beginning and a reinforced, and it's just not going great. My parry, he's stun immune, and then my evade's failing, and I think the hope is that my decelerates fail his unstoppable, but I don't think they do because I only have one up right now, so I go for that, and yeah, so I throw an SP2 into his unstoppable. He hits me hard, and I have shock, I have rupture, I have placebo. But I realize that I'm safe. I go for a dex. I'm probably not going to die because I have a ton of regen, I have a ton of tankiness. So if I just play it slow, I still have 4 minutes on the clock, and I start doing decent damage. I do a few hits. I do not trigger the unstoppable because he had 7 on at the time, so I knew that I was in the clear. I think I baited an SP2 here. Dash back a few times. He's being a bit stingy, but there is prey on the weak here. So whenever a buff expires, he should gain a ton of power, like that placebo just did. But because of my Ionic Overdrive, I reduced it a ton and siphoned it for myself. If that wasn't in place, I would have eaten SP3 there. But yeah, so there I lose my invuln. And he's back another SP2. And this fight is just going very slow, but it's very safe. Even with the stun immunity, I basically turn off EMP power mod. I'm able to get openings by evading instead of parrying, and then prey on the weak is nothing because of my charges. So it's very safe, even if it's long. Here I think I get a few evades, so I get a ton of energy vulnerabilities. Now I'm going to start doing big damage. I was not in my mode when I do that, so the following hits are not going to do a lot of damage, which is quite not very smart because he's a massive physical resist up, so I'm literally just playing this fight wrong, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just... getting in there. Does that again, and then I have enough decelerates that I can push him far, and then I finally get back into my mode. It's a bit of a slog, but it should be fine. The reinforced does not allow me to crit, but Counterfire doesn't really require crits. They're nice, obviously, but he has such big base damage, especially with the energy vulnerabilities. I didn't go for those much either. I think I was just trying to play safe. It's a very long fight, taking 2.5 minutes, but I came out with it very high health, and at no point was I ever really close and in danger to dying. So those are some of the cool fights that I took in the first half of my season. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.